All right, this is the Double Tap Show. My name is Nephi Khaliki, and if you have been waiting, today's the day, folks. We're going to do it. Joining me in the studio today is my partner in crime. Mel, this may be our last day on the air, brother.
Well, yo, Nephi. Yeah,
the Secret Service is standing outside the door, hovering over the red button.
This is going to be a super special show today. Let's kick some serious ass.
All right.
Go, Nephi.
Now, we also have several individuals in the studio with us today, and people will figure them out as we go through here and what's going to be happening. But I promised you guys I was going to roast some folks, and that's going to happen today. So if you're driving in your car, better buckle up, because you might go through the windshield today. So before we get started, though, Mel.
Yes.
I need to make a public apology to Michael McDonald, chairman of the Nevada Republican Party. Now, I've been quite brutal, disrespectful, and I've made some pretty heinous allegations about his conduct as chairman. This I need to publicly apologize for. So, Michael McDonald, I am publicly apologizing to you here with thousands of people listening. I'm sorry. And as an act of attrition, I pledge to send you a box of your favorite chocolates every day for a year. If we can't take them out, maybe diabetes will.
I knew there was something coming. I was just waiting.
Oh, yeah, I know people are shocked all over the world. Like, you should see their faces in here like, whoa, what's happening? Yeah, anyway, no, not. Got that out of the way. So, but one more point of information I need to clarify before we get into the roast. Earlier this week, Mel, I went on the Veterans in Politics show. It's kind of like The View for people with PTSD, right? Where my African-American brother Steve Sanson expressed to me how offended he was at my gun safety jokes for black folks. I just have to clarify one thing about that whole exchange. Steve, I respect your opinion, brother, but you can't be more than half offended at that joke. Oh. By the way, Steve, your flea-bitten mangy mutt tried to grandstand and virtue signal about discriminatory speech in my joke, then refers to other people as retards.
Right.
FYI, that's the N-word to mentally challenged people. So, if I guess only black people can use the N-word, then your guy might be okay to use the R-word. I outplayed you, brother. Just accept it. You will always remember this as the day you almost got Khaliki. So, there, I got that out of the way.
Yes.
So, Mel, I'm going to go through a list of some people that are running for office and just kind of smash on folks till they take me off the air. They sent in the big guns to run the show today. My program director in here has got his hands fixed hovering over the nuke button in case I reveal any national secrets over the airwaves. So if the air goes dead, know that I did not commit suicide. I'm far too vain for that. And I'm in perfect health other than one of those pesky pimples right on my damn eyebrow. So, nobody suicides me. It's not happening. So I love the Republican Party, Mel. But we are a wacky bunch of individuals. That is for sure. And some of the people that I'm going to roast here, they're good friends. And I may be in the doghouse for a few weeks over some of these jokes. But again, these are jokes. They are not meant to suggest facts necessarily. Just easy digs designed to entertain, let off a little bit of steam, you know. So one of my favorite wacky Republicans, Mac Miller.
Oh, boy.
All right. Now, Mac has run for a lot of offices and recently ran for lieutenant governor. Well, Mac Miller is running again, this time from the cops.
Oh, no.
Now, unfortunately, I wrote that joke before he got arrested and is sitting in Clark County detention right now with no bail for alleged theft. But, of course, he's innocent because he's black. All right. That's how it works, right? Now, I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding, and he was simply just riding his limousine around with a few white women in the back. No problem.
Oh,
I should have brought more color in this audience in here because they'd have laughed. Instead, you should see the just looks of guilt across their face right now. So, all right, Mel.
yes.
Important races that are going on right now, and I don't mean the
Okay.
white races or the black races. I'm talking about the mayor's race, right?
Right.
So, who's running right now? I'm going to go through this. Like, first, I want to tell people, because we're going to get a new mayor here. And I wanted to tell people about a candidate that people don't yet know has entered the race, right? Irina Hansen. Now, I've had a chance to spend some time with Irina, and I have to say I am impressed, and that is very difficult. But like every good politician, she's not a politician. Right? She's got this really incredible story as to why she's running, and I'm going to have her on the show to talk about it. But she was married to some pretty high profile guy in the North Las Vegas Fire Department. And at some point, she discovered that her husband was involved in some pretty horrible stuff at his job. And she wound up divorcing him and going to the authorities. Nobody wanted to listen. So she saw a lot of things in the city that were wrong, and no one was doing anything about it. So she decided, if they won't fix it, I will. Right, so just a fascinating story. I'm looking forward to telling that story with her. But on a side note, check out her website at irinahansenformayor.com. She is a gorgeous woman. I mean, bite off your knuckles hot, smart, fearless. I mean, you have to remember that this is Vegas, and the mayor's, is the face of Sin City. Right? Mayor Goodman had Showgirls and a Martini, right, in his hand at press conferences. But he was an amazing mayor. His wife took the helm, carried it on. So who's Irina Hansen's competitor for mayor? Shelley Berkeley.
I thought she retired.
No, just her face.
I set you up good with that one, didn't I? Yeah, I never thunk of that.
Oh, no. I mean, every time I see Shelley Berkeley,
Yeah.
I just want to get an iron and iron out her wrinkles. All right, who else is running? Oh, Victoria Seaman. All right, she's running for the mayor's race now. She's a Republican. She has served on city council for quite a while, and she's trying to go for mayor. But I think it's pretty clear that Las Vegas has had their fill of semen. It's time for a change. Oh, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I told you it's R-rated. Seriously, Mel, I think Victoria Seaman is going to have a hard time with female voters, though. Right? She's really working hard, but I think most women find semen just a little bitter.
Well, I have nothing to say.
Oh, come on, Mel,
Well, I could, but then we'd be off the air, right?
Honestly, I think what should happen, because we got these slates and things going, is that Victoria Seaman should partner up with Carrie Cox. We could call it Vote Cox and Seaman.
Oh, conscience.
Yes, this is good, right? Now, this is great TV, right? Mel,
Yes.
how many guys here know Katrine Ivanov? I didn't say it right. Katrine Ivanov. I better say it right because she's going to be mad at me later. Otherwise known as Mrs. Fix-It.
Yes.
All right? She's one of my favorite characters in the party. She stepped into the political arena straight off the boat and ran for office under the I want to kill pedophile slogan.
I like it.
All right? Well, now, even I found this extremely alarming, and I immediately called Michael McDonald, the chairman of the party, and said, watch your back, bro. Oh, shots fired. Seriously, though, Katrine Ivanov, she's super sweet. I even met her husband. Guy has really soft hands. I think his name is Jack Ivanov. What? That's his name. Katrine, if that's not your husband's name, call in and correct me. I'll do a retraction. Mel, look, there's a reason for doing this and talking like this, right? CCRP elections this Tuesday, right? And all the incumbents are running for re-election. Yeah, well, I always thought that word incumbent was really funny for politicians, right? Because to encumber means to create a burden.
And they do.
Right? If you have a company and they have encumbrances, then you run from them.
And we do.
Right? Kind of a dumb word that sets me up for far too many jokes, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in the party that are really entertaining. Like, we can't forget Michelle Fiore. Right? Now, Michelle's my homegirl, right? But we have a lot in common, right? We both have big mouths and poor judgment. I tried to grab her ass one time. She sat on my finger. Right? Damn near broke it.
Oh, geez.
Then suddenly I realized how Victoria Seaman broke her finger. Oh, that's not that bad. If they'd give us the evidence from City Hall, right? Those of you that don't know, Victoria Seaman and Michelle Fiore got into an alleged spat at City Hall, and somehow they can't find the footage. But then again, that shouldn't be a surprise. They can't find who had the cocaine in the White House either. But, Mel, I love the party. I said this earlier, right? Just like I love my friends, and I bust on them because I love them. Now, there's some issues. I got some issues, and we're going to work them out, but I'm going to go at the end of this show today, I'm going to make a very major announcement. A very major announcement. I'm going to be turning some corners and some things because a lot of things have been happening. A lot of opportunities have been coming up, but we need to have some fun with each other, right? And we need to get it out. You know that video I saw yesterday of Mike Pence getting hit in the head with a water balloon? I want to find that girl. I want to bring her on this show. I want to start a GoFundMe for her career. I don't care. That girl was so gangster with that throw. Just hit him right in the, and she did the walk away, like the hero's walk.
Yes.
She did the walk away like, yeah, I got that fool. I got that fool. Whoever you are, girl, we're going to find out at some point because I know the whole world is curious, right? You are my hero. I told you at the debates, I said we need to have a water balloon fight. Didn't I? The debates was interesting, wasn't it, Margaret?
I loved it.
Right. And Jesse Law, just remember, that was the day I beat you at the debates.
Badly.
Yeah, well, we need to talk about things, and I prefer to use words, because if I didn't use words, I would be very violent. Again, I mean, I like violence, right? That's why I teach violence for a living, but you have to have that outlet. If you don't have an outlet, then you do go nuts, right? It's just, and I want us to get into a position where we can have a meaningful discussion about things that we can, remember, we're all on the same team, right? We don't get this, we should be, but if we don't get this out, right, I don't know, boxing night, whatever it is, I don't care. Unfortunately, that wouldn't work in the Republican or the CCRP because I don't think that you can box and wear walkers at the same time.
Try me.
You thought I was going to let you out of it?
No, I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, it is the Elvis, the CCRP. Everybody's met Elvis in the CCRP, and we need to just bring some more life into it, and that's fine. That's what has to happen, right? We know we have to start mixing the generations into the party. That's why I said at the debates that there was no party in the word Republican, and that we needed to have some more fun. We don't do activities together. We don't do stuff together. We form little cliques. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this announcement at the end of it because it's pretty huge. It's pretty huge. It will surprise a lot of people about as much as my intro.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I want to get things on track. And we have an election coming up. Right? And, well, boy, Jesse Law, he's really worried about losing this race. He's so worried he's spending his bribe money on mailers. No, seriously. Everybody's getting emails, phone calls, text. Now, it costs like 3-4 cents each text, right? He's sending mailers out. He's printing glossies. He's groveling. right? Which is funny to me because he's spending money on a job that doesn't pay any money. Why does he want this job so much that he's willing to spend his own money, his own hard-earned bribe money?
Wasn't his own money.
Well, we don't know, but somebody wants that free job so bad they're willing to spend money for it. I want people to think about that because this isn't a joke, this part of it. Somebody that is willing to hold on to a free job where he's got some guy like me on his ass every day, right? I'm sorry. I know his ass hurts. Every time he sits down, Jesse's like, oh, right? It's because he's taking it from there's a line, right? They are gangbanging him right now. The show yesterday where the victims of Jesse Law and Vinco executives went on blood money. How do you deal with that? You know, where the victims are coming for, and these are people not even in this state. I think he has the perfect name, Jesse Lawsuit, right? Because he has all these laws. I don't have none. And I am the big jerk with the big mouth and all that. I don't have no lawsuits. I don't have no fraud cases. I don't have nothing but, news. I make the news all the time. Right, I've been featured in the news locally over 200 times, and they have tried to get me all the time, like Steve Sanson pathetically tried to get me on his radio show the other day, and I outplayed him because I'd already dropped out of the race because I had done the job that I needed to do, and he got on there thinking he was going to confront me with some racial jokes because, he can put his foot in the door of being black. Not the whole thing, right? Just his foot. And then he brings a white guy, a toothless hound that was just slobbering on my shoe, who has a black wife, and that is his only defense for not being a racist and not being responsible for hundreds of years of slavery, right? Brings him on the show to try to confront me about telling jokes. It was pathetic, right? And then Steve says, well, I don't censor my co-hosts, and I don't censor the First Amendment either. And I said, just the jokes, right?
Yeah.
Just the jokes. So, that was a weak move. And I think it probably was his best show yet because it was the first time he actually attempted to take somebody down that was worth something. Right? This is what's funny about our party, right, is I see all these amazing shots in practice, right? All these great hits from the plate. Pow, knocks it out of the park. But this is all happening in practice. And this has something to do with what our announcement is going to be at the end. But it's good to play at practice and hit home runs at practice and make great catches at practice. But what does it matter? It matters what we do in the game. It matters what we do in the game. And unfortunately, all joking aside, I think we need to acknowledge all the hard work, the stress, the long hours, sacrifice, and dedication Michael McDonald and Jesse Law have done for the Democrats. So congratulations, Jesse Law and Michael McDonald, on losing the Super Bowl 4 times in a row. I'd swear we were in San Diego. Right? So well done, well done. So really what we need to do in order to get this going, look, I could be somebody's best friend and not vote for him, right? I have people that have worked for me that are very close friends, and I fired them. In fact, I was married before I fired my wife at the time, right? Because all she would do is she thought, I could get a paycheck, do some little this and that, and every time I go upstairs to see how she was doing, she's in the bedroom calling out. And I'm like, it's not break time, right? Get back to work. Like people that own businesses, they got to work. You got to discipline yourself at home.
Novel.
Yeah, but the problem is we've got to get this out of a scrimmage and into the fight, right? And as TK said earlier in a tweet, she said that I had figured out how to turn a radio wave into a fist.
Yes, you did.
and that and Irina Hansen said that she's trying to kind of get in the middle and resolve some of this stuff that's going on, but she said Nephi is a weapon, and we need to redirect him towards the Democrats. Stop messing with each other. All right, I agree with that. I'm not going to stop running my mouth, that's for sure. Right? No, I'm not going to stop. Right? And the more you tell me I can't say stuff, the more I'm going to say it. If you can't tell me I can say a different word, I'm just going to say it. You know, and there are words that are going through my head now that I had abandoned before. It's like my mother. My mother is extremely judgmental. She will literally, well, she would never listen to this show. She would turn it off immediately with my first joke, right? Because it's very, very inappropriate to her. But the fact that you can say a cuss word like ass, and she'll just literally have a conniption fit, how can you not push that button? Right? How can you not just say it all the time, every chance you get? Because you get the whole Jack in the Box comes out the can. That's what it's for, right? You got to ring that bell sometimes and see what happens. And so telling people you can't do something, it's going to make them do it more.
Always.
It's absolutely going to make them do it more. So the more people tell me not to say stuff, just know that the more I'm going to say it. Right? And we've had a lot of things go on, and as we're ramping up for this 2024 election, look, Republicans, how many people do you know that are running for Democrat positions? How many of them do you know? You know a bunch of Republicans, but that's not the game. Yeah. We got to get on the field, play the other team. So what position should I play? Right? What position should you play in that game? Not on the practice where we just play with each other, but out on the field against the other teams.
Block and tackle.
You got to have a player for every major role. If you don't have that, then we're just around there patting each other on the back like Jesse Law does. You ever listen to one of his speeches? I found out Michael McDonald should recommend Jesse Law for a federal position. Honestly, I think Jesse would be better suited in a federal position because he's got some brilliant ideas about controlling the border. No, I'm all joking aside. Jesse has some amazing ideas on how to solve the problem at the border. Yeah, he's going to go stand down there and sing the national anthem so badly that no person will ever want to come in this country ever again.
That was good, Nephi. Oh, yeah.
That was a good one, right?
Yes, well,
so
sadly.
I don't know where our break is, but we should have been on a break like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the Secret Service has just told him, let him go. And just let him keep digging. Just keep digging, boy. All right, so we're going to go to a break because my board op, he needed me to tell him when to go to a break. So I want to remind people about sponsors that are loyal to our cause. The First Amendment, our boys down at the Las Vegas Hustler Club. Every Monday is America Monday, where you get deals on drinks and food. And the only reason I go down there is they got hookah. No, that is the only reason I don't like to look at girls. I feel ashamed. I feel guilty. My mother raised me to feel guilty about stuff like that. So the rest of you heathens, don't be afraid. You should see the silence in the room right now. All these conservative people are in here like, what did we get involved in? I can't support this. Remember what Larry Flint did for the First Amendment. That's why I love those guys down there. So we're going to be back right after the break. Pick this back up. All right, we are back. This is the Double Tap Show. My name is Nephi Khaliki, and we are here every Tuesday. From Tuesday, I'm thinking so much about the election on Tuesday that I stopped the whole comeback. Every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. So I apologize. I invited Jesse Law to come on to the show today. Right? Don't groan because he's not feeling really good. Apparently, he's suffering from a skin condition that has not enabled him to come. He's got a narcissist on his back or something really nasty, right? So that's why Jesse's not here today.
Good.
Yeah. So we went long on that last break. I went out of breath. Right? But I want to bring this, Mel, worst campaign running mate ideas for Republicans.
Can't wait.
Okay, what would the worst ones be? But first one we could do is like Black Miller and Annie Mac. Wait a minute.
Wait, yeah.
I think it's Mac Miller and Annie Black.
Yeah.
I always forget that. It's very confusing, right? But that's what I mean. My bad ideas, like Carrie Buck and David Roger.
Oh, but yeah. Keep going.
All right. Wait, who else do we have here that could do that? We said Victoria Seaman and Carrie Cox.
Right, of course.
Seaman and Cox.
That's a given.
You got to have that one.
Well, that's an easy one. Come on, get
no,
good.
it's not a puzzle.
It's not
Give
a
me
Rubik's
me
Cube.
some ideas, Mel, on candidates. Right? Who can you think of that'd be a really bad combination?
Not me.
What if we
Anybody?
partnered
Uh-oh.
Greta Thunberg with Irina Hansen? What? Hansen and Greta.
Hanson and Greta.
That's a cute one, right?
That's cute. That's
Right.
too cute. That's
She
too
said
cute.
she'd get mad at me if I roasted her. So I'm trying not to roast too hard here on there. Just turn up the heat. No. Have you seen her? She's hot enough. Right? I promise you, there is no way I want to sit there and look at Shelley Berkeley as the party capital representative for Las Vegas. No way. It's like looking at Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. You turn on the TV and you're like, ugh, they just lost. I don't care what they're saying. I can't look at her horse face and Pelosi's wrinkles, right? Her jowls. Don't they have adrenochrome? That's one person I would say needs adrenochrome in their life. Right? Just so we don't have to suffer through that. The news conferences, right? Maybe they could stretch the image to undo some of the years.
Yes.
No way we want Shelley Berkeley as mayor of Las Vegas. No way. There's nothing Vegas about her. In fact, we're going to turn it into a blue state, a blue city. We're going to start having gay pride parades down on the strip. First, we're going to have NASCAR, and then we're going to have gay pride. How's that going to work out?
That's a fight.
It is. You know, we just Vegas is a unique city, and talk about mayor a little bit more. It's a very unique city. Prostitution's legal in Nevada, right? This is, we got gambling. We have all these things at Sin City, right? We don't need Democrats, and that's why I'm glad that's a nonpartisan race, right? Can you imagine? If conservatives were running it, we would see no TNA on the strip. And if Democrats were running it, we'd see all kinds of TNA would be questioning it. Like I remember when the movie Crying Game came out. I was watching that whole movie, in a theater, and something wasn't hitting me right. Right? I was like, I wasn't quite getting into it. And these guys in front of me were like, ooh, man, I'd do this to her. I'd do that to her. She's so fine. And I'm listening to that conversation, and I'm like, I'm going to withhold my views on the girl in this movie until a little later. And as soon as that whole reveal scene came out where he found out it was a dude, they were all choking and gagging. I was the only one in there laughing and saying, I knew something wasn't right. I was not falling for that one. I don't want to have to deal with that on the strip. That's the problem they have in Hollywood. People go down Santa Monica and say, all the beautiful girls in Hollywood are men. No, seriously, I'm not kidding about Santa Monica Boulevard. Don't trust nothing. Watch when they wave at you, it blocks the sun. Right? That's how big their hands are. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell. So, but back to the mayor's race, right? It's an important part because it's a fixture and it's also the face of Las Vegas, right? When we had Goodman's and he had the No, I almost said call girls at his side. Showgirls. Freudian slip. Yeah, the showgirls in the martini, that's Vegas. And we need to keep it Vegas because I tell you, if you start making our city political, the tourists aren't going to want to come here. That's our economy you're messing with. When we've tried different experiments before, like now Vegas is going for the family friendly, right? And people are like, boo, right? Nobody liked that. And so what do? They backed off of it and they embraced Sin City again. We've already had this hard lesson, right? We've already had this hard lesson. And there's other people that are in the race. Cedric Creer, who I've heard is a really, really likable guy. He's a black gentleman, and I've heard he's very, very likable, kind of like Bill Cosby likable. What? What's wrong with Bill Cosby? Did he do something? Then there's Cara Jenkins, right? She works in the Attorney General's office in the Division of Equality. This is the woman that tried to charge me with discrimination. For telling jokes. And I go, honey, you could have got in there and got roasted just the same. It's not discrimination to tell jokes, you moron. And this part, and it's really funny because she sent me this certified letter saying you need to come and respond to these charges and have a settlement conference. And I'm like, that's my right. She says, yeah, you can have a public hearing or you can have a settlement conference. I said, public hearing. I said, I want everybody to see what a moron you are, right? I want it out there. In fact, I'm going to call the news. I'm going to do a press conference. Boy, you want a circus? I'll bring you a circus. And the funny thing is, I was telling my jokes at the library, and the library got hit with her by a discrimination charge, too. Oh, no. Now, the irony is, the library, who was very mad at me, except one guy in there, that was my homeboy, the library was forced to use Clark County money to defend me. Because now they were getting hit with discrimination charge at the same as me, so I just let their lawyers do all the work, right? And I kept writing her once a week, right? I kept calling her, emailing Cara Jenkins and saying, hey, are we doing this or what, right? I'm egging her, like, let's go. You want to have this hearing and talk about how telling a joke is discrimination? That's discrimination. Just like Steve Sanson saying, I don't censor the First Amendment with my co-hosts. And I said, just jokes? Yeah. Just my jokes? You just walked right into that. The hypocrisy. Right? So you deserve those jokes, bro. And we'll shake it off later and we'll hang out and have a hookah. But you deserve to get roasted for that. Like I wasn't going to catch that. But Cara Jenkins, have you ever seen her? Certain picture of her? She looks like one of those people that has gotten their life together but used to be a drug addict. No. This is a compliment. But she looks like she's one bad hair day away from a relapse.
Oh, boy.
She's attractive-ish. Right? But running for mayor, I can't support it. Because when you do something in a position of power like that and you misapply, you don't even know the difference between discrimination and a joke. Don't know the difference. How are you supposed to run that office as mayor when you can't tell your butt from a hole in the ground? Right?
That's right.
And guess what happened to that discrimination case?
They had to drop it.
It magically went away. She wouldn't answer me anymore, and, I was really sad because I had such great material for that public hearing. I could have got like 100,000 views off of what I was going to say to her. All right, so we're going to go to a break here. All right, we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to take some callers. They're on the phone, chomping at the bit. So this is the Double Tap Show. We're going to be here every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m., but we got an announcement to make after the break. So you guys on the phone, I'm going to rush through you real quick. Right, so I want to thank our sponsors, Hydrate.Vegas. These guys are always there. If you guys are dehydrated and this show makes you hot and bothered, go to Hydrate.Vegas, and you can hydrate your body and your bones. It's helped Mel a lot, and you used to walk by me squeaking and creaking, and now it's just like somebody oiled his joints. So, Hydrate.Vegas, we'll be back right after the break and put the final nail in the coffin. better move for cover. In the middle of a gunfight, there's no time to be a hero till the shooting's done. All right, we are back. Las Vegas mayor's race. Irina Hansen's running, but don't worry. Victoria Seaman is coming too. I've heard her speeches. They're pretty good, but, Victoria Seaman, it's just a little hard for me to swallow. What? We're going to go to the phones.
Yeah,
as they're pointing guns at me between the glass. We're going to, TK Crab. Welcome to the Double Tap Show. Enjoy this last moment of freedom before I join Mac Miller in county jail.
Well, honey, good thing we'll all get you out. We'll put money together. We'll bail you out.
I know how to get bail.
Oh, let me tell you, I think I do. But let me say this. You were roasting, and you were really on a good roast ad. I had to get some hot dogs out and roast them. So, anyway, listen, I have some updates, and I have permission to share this information that I thought you guys would want to know going into Tuesdays. Lisa Mayo, which you guys know, is a consultant. All right. And spoke to Lisa right before you went on the air, and she had to send Sally Minster a letter notifying Sally that she is a member, that she has attended meetings, because they don't have her listed.
Of course not.
And that's part of the play that they do. So Lisa, and as you guys know, she's always prepared. She's already contacted her attorney in reference to confronting them should she not have the right to vote for Jill Douglas and Johnny Brew for the win.
Wonderful.
Well, TK, I appreciate it. I said at the earlier that I had a major announcement, and the major announcement is that next Tuesday, the election, I have a lot of information that I've been waiting to drop. If people think that I just got into the race to just get up there and shake my ass for the crowd, that's not why, right? And the theater is not over. No, I have a grand finale. The fireworks are going to be glorious. Right. So
well, you know what, Nephi?
It's the same thing. This has to come to a head, and if you think I was done, you ain't thinking.
Oh, I understand you're not done.
Nope.
And I think there's a lot of Republicans out there that are not done. They want to correct the problem. And to correct it, we have to get new leadership. Bottom line.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's okay. Like, if your team's not working, that's probably like the Chargers. I'm from San Diego originally, but that team lose all the time, and you got to change the coach. It's not just the players. In fact, it's rarely the players. It's the leadership. And you can't have that 4-time losing streak and then just sit there and stand up and how confident, well, I know this, if I wasn't doing a good job at something, TK, I'd be the first one to say, hey, how can we fix this and move me somewhere? I'm not doing so good here. I don't feel so good about myself. Jesse Law's got to be crying at night. I bet you there's tears stains all over his pillow, right? Because I saw him at the debates. His hands were shaking the whole time. He's got cerebral palsy, or he's afraid of the Khaliki man.
I think it's the Khaliki man.
No. Well, you know what? I think like Irina Hansen had it right. Point me at some Democrats. Stop playing this game. Let me do what I got to do. I am built for fighting.
Nephi. The other thing that I think Jesse Law and Michael McDonald and that crew, they're afraid of the truth. They don't want people to know the truth. So they want to sit down and slander those who have the truth. And I can tell you this much. I stand for the truth.
I know you do. That's why we're friends. That's why I'm friends with everybody that they kicked out of the party or tried to push away. And then I looked at all of them and I go, and it was an accident. I became friends with Margaret and I became friends with you and all these people they're attacking. And I'm like, these are solid people, man. Like, why would they want them out? These people could change the party.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Well, let me say this, and thank you for saying that, because that's what I felt that we did. And I'm proud to say that I was part of raising the money for the Clark County Republican Party. And they have not been able to raise near what Dave Sajak did. And let me remind people,
hurry up.
2019, we didn't have COVID, but 2020, 2021, we were still under COVID restrictions, and we still managed to
I
raise
got it.
money.
TK, we're up against the clock here, but I love you. I love all you guys out there. We're going to make some changes here. We're going to get it done, and this fight ain't over. Stay tuned for Tuesday at the elections. Boy, I got a surprise that's going to blow your mind. We'll see you next time.